In this video, we'll be looking at trig functions on the unit circle. Those are specifically called circular functions. Here I have a sketch of our unit circle. Notice that it has the center at the origin, 0, 0, and it has a radius of 1. If we put a point xy here on the unit circle and then draw our reference triangle, notice that our x value is this side, the y value is this side, and again, because it's a unit circle, this is a radius, so the hypotenuse is 1, and we'll call the angle here on the reference triangle theta. So our trig values, again, recall sine theta is y over r, cosine theta x over r, tangent theta is y over x, and then these are the reciprocals of those. For a point xy on the unit circle, since r, which is the hypotenuse, or the distance from the origin to the point, since that is equal to 1, then the sine of theta is y over 1, or just y. Cosine theta is x, and tangent theta is y over x, same as before. Then the reciprocal of sine cosecant is 1 over y. The reciprocal of cosine, which is secant, is 1 over x. And then cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So let's do a few problems. We're asked to find the exact value of each circular function. So the sine of a negative 3 pi. So let me draw a sketch. If we start over here at the positive x-axis, we know that a negative angle starts by going clockwise. So we're going to move around our coordinate plane in a clockwise rotation. So this is a negative 1 pi, just a semicircle. So there's a negative 1 pi. And then this is a negative 2 pi, and then this one is negative 3 pi. So we're over here at the negative x-axis. Coordinates of this point, if it was on the unit circle, would be a negative 1 for the x value and 0 for the y value. And let me just write those. X is negative 1, y is 0, and r is always a positive 1. So for our sine, we want the y value, so this is 0. Now for cosine negative 3 pi, again, we can use the same sketch. Cosine is the x value, so this is a negative 1. For tangent negative 3 pi, we'll use the same sketch. This is y over x, so y is 0, and x is negative 1, so the tangent of negative 3 pi is 0. Now we have a different angle, so let's look at a sketch of that. Just pi over 3 is 60 degrees. So we have pi over 3 would hit about here. That's 1 pi over 3. And then 2 pi over 3 would hit in quadrant 2. 3 pi over 3 is just pi. And then 4 pi over 3 would be down here in quadrant 3. So for a 60 degree reference angle, the side opposite is root 3, the side adjacent is 1, and the hypotenuse is 2. Or if we were using a unit circle, this would have to be a 1 here, so we would divide all of these ratios by 2. So on a unit circle, my hypotenuse is 1, my side here, the x value would be 1/2, and this would be a root 3 over 2. Now notice that when I move left, that's actually a negative. And when I go down, that's a negative as well. The hypotenuse is always positive. So let me stick a negative on these guys. So the sign is y, so we have negative root 3 over 2. So we can think of 9/4 pi as 2 1/4 pi. And we also need to go negative, so it'll be a clockwise rotation. So 2 pi is 1 complete revolution, and then 1/4 of a pi would put me down in quadrant 4. And we have 1 root 2, and this going down would be a negative. Now if I wanted to think of this on a unit circle, my radius of my circle is 1, so instead of a root 2 here, I would have a 1, and I can get the rest of these on the unit circle by dividing all of them by root 2. So this would be 1 over root 2, or root 2 over 2, and this one would be the same, but it would be negative, so a negative root 2 over 2. So my tangent of negative 9 pi over 4 will be a negative 1. On this one, I can think of 11 pi over 6 is 1 5/6 pi. So our reference triangle is a positive angle, so I'll be going in a counterclockwise direction. And 1 5/6 would put me in quadrant 4. I know that when the denominator is 6, that's a 30-degree reference angle. So this would be a 30, so the side opposite that would be a 1, and then adjacent is root 3, and then hypotenuse is 2. And this one's going down, so that's a negative. And again, if we wish to think of this on the unit circle, the radius of the unit circle is 1, so I would use a 1 here on the r value, and then this would be a root 3 over 2, and this would be a negative 1/2. So my sign is the y value, which is equal to a negative 1/2.